a walk-in clinic inside our family medicine. No appointment, no problem. See our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, Mr. Drew Goebel, is the superintendent of Clinton Schools. Good morning, Mr. Goebel. How you doing?
Good morning, Seth.
Thanks for coming out. And Mrs. Karrah Jensen is now the assistant superintendent of Clinton Schools. And Mrs. Jensen, good to see you. How are you today? Yeah, thanks for coming in and talking with us. I think I've got a short in your mic, if you don't mind me taking a look at it real fast. Let's turn it on. That would help. Not your fault. It's all good. How are you, Mrs. Jensen?
I'm great. Thank you.
All right. I can hear you better now. Thanks for that. Very good. Well, Mrs. Jensen, exciting development at the school board meeting earlier this week. You were promoted to assistant superintendent. How about that?
Yeah, it was, it's a great lead in from the work that I've been doing in Clinton School District for the past 2 years. And I just think now with this partnership that Drew and I have had over the past year, it's a natural lead in to kind of go deeper into the job responsibilities and the work in the district.
Sure. So how much changes for you from curriculum director to assistant superintendent?
I would say that I think that the job responsibilities that I took on this year, there were more things that Drew was able to share with me and for me to be able to take over in some way. And so I think that was just naturally when Drew stepped into the position of superintendent, being able to form that partnership. So looking forward to next year, I think that will be a continuation of some of that. But I think about director of teaching and learning as kind of usually those positions are a silo, right? Like you are working just within that realm. And this year I've been able to really kind of get into a lot of different areas. And so moving that forward next year just made sense. And I think, again, that partnership that Drew and I have, we're able to kind of work seamlessly in that way.
Like what kind of things are you able to go into now?
Sure. So even this year, working with our director of special education, Carrie Veldman, partnering her with special education, I've done some work even with administrative assistants, looking at our staffing with paraprofessionals. And so that necessarily wouldn't be something I would have done, be given a traditional role of a director of teaching and learning. But that continues into next year and be able to kind of spread and go deeper now.
A lot of people may wonder, do you really need that assistant superintendent title for all those things you're talking about? Sure.
And I think, and Drew can maybe speak to this too, but even when that designation, so let's say Drew is out of the district or Drew, there is some sort of situation that natural designation of someone then being able to assist in different situations that Drew would need to handle if he were here. So I think it is again, a natural role, not necessarily looking to fill anything else in the unit office. We're not, adding any positions per se, just kind of moving this into that next role.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, and Mr. Goebel, how about that? Moving Ms. Jensen into this role?
Absolutely. I feel in many aspects, we make such a good team. Her knowledge of curriculum and instruction and professional development, she is way better at than I am. And I think any good leader needs to understand your strengths and then where someone else can help you. And she brings all that to Clinton, and so much of my position is dealing with finances and bonds and, if we're going to buy school buses or the facility projects or insurance. I kind of joke around with my kids that my job is a lot of the running the business of a school district and the finances. And I work closely with our bookkeeper and payroll and all the other things that need to get done to make a school district happen. But the position of the curriculum director or the teaching and learning, I wanted that position even going back to my days when I was at the junior high, because a principal is running around. They're dealing with so many different things. It's difficult to analyze the data, like student achievement data and all the other things that go into running a school. To have that support that Karrah brings to the district is such an important position, and she does a fantastic job And like I said at the board meeting, we make such a good team. I think it makes perfect sense. She was on the negotiation team and helped out there. So she goes beyond teaching and learning. And that was her title was Director of Teaching and Learning. And she does so much more of that. And like she added, the Assistant Superintendent title definitely fits what she does.
Is there anything that she has done that has stood out to you, that whether the community would notice or not? Is there anything that she's taken up that you've taken notice of?
I think the level of analyzing student achievement data. You know, as we're making decisions, we're not just shooting from the hip. We're not just guessing. We're not just saying, well, we think this would be a good thing, or all the different changes. We have to be very systematic when we're making decisions. And her analytics and diving into that student achievement data, I've been super impressed with that. She does a lot. I mean, maybe she could, things that I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask Ms. Jensen, what for you has stood out about where the district has gone curriculum wise, academically, the achievement things. How about some of that?
Well, I mean, one of the first things I would spotlight is really our educators, because the reason I'm going to say that is because whatever I bring into the district would not be successful if we didn't have a strong group of educators and administrators. And so that I have seen over the past 2 years, I say all the time, we have made so many changes to what we already were doing as strong, but without strong educators and principals to lead that out, my role would not be successful. But some of the things that they have taken on is, yes, really kind of looking at student achievement data in order to move their instruction forward. I think a lot of that is based in relationships that have been built over the past 2 years. You know, being new to a small community, you really want to, in some ways, prove that you believe in the community and the work that we do. And so that was this past 2 years of really making sure to, instill in everyone that the Clinton Community School District is my home as well, whether I live here as a resident or not. And so that I'm really proud of in the work that's been done over the past 2 years.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder as we're talking here this morning, how do you not become over analytical and over reliant on that data? Because, and I say that from the perspective of, okay, we've got this group of students at this point in their, their development, and like maybe overemphasizing every test and homework assignment.
That's a great question.
Yeah. How about that?
So I'm going to give you an example. So we have 3 times a year, we do something called a data day. Okay. So that sounds like, yes, we are really relying on that one data point. However, the people that we have at the table ensure that we look at the whole child and not one data point. So we bring in our English as a second language teacher who may have that student. So we may look at a student whose first language is Spanish and see underperforming test scores, but without those other voices at the table saying, okay, but this student really is working on oral communication. And so that would be a priority. It creates an image of a whole child. We have administrators, we have teachers, we have school psychologists, we have social workers, we have reading interventionists, math interventionists, all discussing the child and not just the data. And that's just one example of why we do that. Is it's really important, as you mentioned, it's a great question, to look more at just than one data point.
Very good. Well, Mrs. Jensen, anything on your promotion and what's next with that we haven't touched on this morning?
Not so much the promotion, but I would say even looking at some of the work that we're doing this summer, we have a lot going on. While summer is a slower time, right? It is, but it's definitely just as busy. And we have a lot going on. We have our special education summer school going on. We also have a new program with our ESL students, who those are English as second language. So our Spanish speaking students, Lindsay French, who's our ESL teacher, and Nicole Binder, who is our language access coordinator. Those 2 teachers came with a kind of a seed of an idea of where we need to make sure that we take this development we have with our group of our students and we continue that language development through the summer. And so they really designed a program that allowed students to use language in real world situations. So they go, it's really field trip based. And so they go to the library, they're at the the zoo, they went to the grocery store, they're at the movies, and they're using language in application versus just in isolation.
Right.
And so that I think is going to have great results. They're really proud of that work. They've done a great job securing funding. They also received an additional grant for some of the consumables. We have teachers who are meeting together to talk about new curriculum in the kindergarten through 5th grade. They are meeting as teams to develop lessons, to really look at the materials deeper, since we are bringing on a new reading curriculum. The junior high math department met to vet curriculum that they may look at for future use. We did a 2-day retreat where we had 30 teachers in June come in and learn more about social emotional learning and the application of that in the classroom.
Right.
We have in July, July, the end of July, I have 6 teachers going to ISU with myself to develop a district literacy plan. And so again, the willingness of our educators to give their summer time to be able to go in and do the important work. I'm always thrilled to promote that as well, because I think that's a huge part of what we do.
Sure. Well, to wrap us up, Mr. Goebel, do you mind if I ask, was this kind of the plan for Mrs. Jensen to go into that superintendent role, or was this an organic thing?
I think it just happened, and as I listened to Karrah talk, I don't say it's our, my saying is, Clinton, we're one team and we're one mission. We all, there's so many different pieces to the puzzle, whether you're a teacher or a paraprofessional or the administrative assistant, or you are, all of the, custodians, bus drivers, like we are all on the same team. We're all working together. I'm just so proud of the teachers and the work that we're doing. And we have teachers coming in over the summer and just because they want to, for professional development, and the amount of dedication that our staff has to kids is amazing. I've said this over and over again, that of the districts that I've worked for, Clinton is second to none. The amount of work that we put forth, and I even think the progress that I've seen happen in the last few years is amazing. I always kind of joke with Karrah that one of these days we're going to be on our test scores are just going to go through the roof. But the work that we're doing now is why that will happen. And I am confident that the changes that we've done and the things that we've done in the last few years, we will see the results of that, and it will happen.
Very foundational stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm very proud of our district, and I'm proud to be the superintendent of Clinton.
Very good. Well, friends, let's take a break here. Come back with some more. Again, Superintendent Drew Goebel and Assistant Superintendent Karrah Jensen in studio with us, following up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting here this morning. More to come with them on the morning show.
WHOW.
Offices for more information.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Kind of a steady trade today with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. July corn down half a penny, 409 3/4. September corn up 1.5, 406 1/2. December corn 423 1/4, up 3/4. July beans down 4 3/4, 1020 1/4. August beans down 5 1/2, 1024. And November beans down 2 3/4, 1016. July wheat down 3 3/4, 524 1/2. September wheat down 4, 540 1/2. July bean meal 271.80, down 420. July bean oil 52.24, up 42 cents. Livestock trade, August feeders up 40 cents, 302.70. June live cattle up 47 cents, 222.07. July lean hogs 112.72, down a dime. Energy market August crude oil 65.71, up 79 cents.
Looking for a new Silverado? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverado inventory. We have Silverados in 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s with several trim levels, custom, LT, RST, LTZ, and yes, even high countries. All our inventory is priced for our summer savings season. Baum Chevrolet Buick. Together, let's drive. BaumChevroletBuick.com, right from the start.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guests in studio, Mr. Drew Goebel and Karrah Jensen with the Clinton Schools. And Mr. Goebel, I've been able to kind of get an up-close watch of the progress of the sports facilities this summer, because I had my youngest play softball, and so they use the high school facilities, and things are really moving along. You've got the press box at the football field. You've got the turf on baseball, softball going up. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's amazing. As I sit in my office, and I look out and I see the transformation of our facility in a very short period of time. And it really is amazing. And so as a brief update, the turf on the varsity softball and the varsity baseball, the turf's in, it's done. They are putting the final touches. I talked to Mr. Keppel, the athletic director, about an hour ago, and he told me like they're going to start putting fencing up. So they are done. Now the next step is, and I just want to give a shout out to the city who is funding this 100%. You know, that was an amazing opportunity. So I just want to kind of thank the city for doing that. So in the fall, we're going to put turf on the infields of the two smaller diamonds next to the varsity softball. So those little tinier diamonds that are closer to the roads, those infields will have turf. Right. And then the JV baseball field that's over kind of by the junior high, the infield of that will get turf. So that's I want to call it phase 2, but that's going to be happening. So when that is completed, all 5 of our diamonds will not have rainouts, because even if you get a little bit of rain, the outfield will be fine and grass. So all those are coming along.
You could probably play like some JV and varsity softball at the same time out there.
Absolutely. I mean, it really, our facility is second to none. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, actually, right now, as we're talking, they're drilling the holes to put the scoreboard up at the football, because that is going to be an amazing scoreboard. And to kind of I want to give a shout out to all 3 of our dealerships here in town: Mangold Ford, Baum Chevrolet, and Douglas Dodge, because there is vendor sponsorships that are going up on the scoreboard, and Ted's Garage, Harbrand, Fertilizer, and Snappers. Those 6 companies have purchased sponsorships that will be permanent on the bottom of the scoreboard for a period of time, and then we'll kind of rotate those throughout. So thank you for those organizations and places for doing that. But so that will be up and running. But then, like you said, the scoreboard is not the scoreboard, the press box. That is amazing. I think our whole facility, I don't think there's another school district that I know of that can compare to it. So yeah.
And we're getting a new scoreboard at the baseball diamond.
At the football field, to have that's the new scoreboard.
That's okay. I thought you said we were getting a new one at the baseball field.
The baseball, I mean, if that would happen down the road, but that's not in.
Got it. I misunderstood you.
Yeah,
my fault.
The current plan.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Maybe at some point.
That would be fun. Yeah. So, and what I have been amazed at is how quickly these things have happened. Like, it felt like overnight the bleachers at the football field were up and the press box was put together. It's amazing how quick.
Well, I tell you what, and I'm not ATG, the company that did the football, did the track, that is doing all the turf at the baseball fields. They are a great company, and I don't get any perk for promoting them on the radio, but I work with vendors on all, whether I'm heating, electrical, everything. Like I said earlier, I kind of run the business side of it, so I deal with vendors constantly. ATG is if I've had any issue, I email them or I call them, they take care of it instantly. So I've been very pleased with them.
Yeah, very good. You mentioned the city helping fund the softball, baseball upgrades, and then of course the stuff with the football field is on the school district.
Yes.
What is the total roughly total dollar amount between the two, and breakdown of what the city is providing?
The football field was around football and track and lights, because we had to replace the lights. So all of that, probably pushing $4 million. And that was the school district. And we were able to do that without going deep into our reserve. So if, catastrophic thing would happen, we are good to go. And something that I set in motion prior to doing this was several years ago. I didn't want to build a big fancy football stadium and then not have money for a problem. So I replaced a couple years ago, if you remember, the heating and cooling and the electrical system in the high school, which was old, and that cost millions of dollars. So I took care of all of the things that essentially would shut a school down, because if you can't have heat, you don't have electrical, you have no school, that'd be terrible. So I made sure all of these other things were taken care of first before we spent money on a football field. Even at that, with all of our electrical stuff done and heating and the football, we still have money in reserves just in case. So I want to be able to sleep at night and not worry. and I do, because we are financially, we are in great shape. The baseball, softball, those 5 diamonds, that's pushing around $3 million.
And that's from the city.
And that's from the city. So that's how it works, and I have a good partnership with them. When we get the bill from ATG, I pass it over to the city council. They approve it. They cut me a check. I deposit that into our account, and then we pay ATG.
Very good. Easy enough. So, Mr. Goebel, as we wrap things up, that's kind of the highlight of what's going on this summer, I feel like. Is there anything in the buildings that's going on work-wise or improvement-wise? Anything inside the buildings?
Within the buildings, this last year, it's not a very glamorous thing that people are going to get excited about, but it's a safety thing. We replaced all of the door handles and locks, because prior to that, the building was literally the keys and a lot of our doors would not work
at the high school.
Thank you, Kara. At the high school. So to replace every single handle and lock was not cheap. But we had to do it. So we did that. And that actually came out of, it's called the Health Life Safety Fund. So we have separate money that can be used for safety. So that did not come out of the same bucket that the football came, the baseball and all that other stuff. It was separate. So we took care of that. But right now within the building, we don't have now the gym floor had a little problem, but
oh no, what happened?
There was an air conditioner malfunctioned, and I'll show you a picture off after this is done. So the gym floor, we had to cut out a square, and the insurance, a shout out to Peterson Insurance and ICMRT, they 100% covered it, but so they're gonna have to fix the gym floor because there was a considerable amount of water from the air conditioner got on it, but it is what it is. Accidents happen. So that is unexpected project, but it's getting taken care of.
Easy enough. Well, guys, thanks for making time for us. Enjoy the rest of the summer. I know we'll catch up in August. Mr. Goebel, Mrs. Jensen, congratulations on your promotion.
Thanks,
absolutely. Again, Drew Goebel, Mrs. Karrah Jensen, our guest in studio this morning, a superintendent and assistant superintendent, respectively, for Clinton Schools, in studio with us today. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Of course, we stream live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way now.
WHOW.